Go-Go world, diversity is huge in pop culture, with comic book companies, toy companies, movie companies really pushing to show off how diverse their cast of characters can be. And when you have this in content, it's going to bleed over into toys naturally, because if there's diversity in the movie, there's going to be diversity in said toy line. Other times we see toy companies purchasing IP that is specifically diversified in order to, again, make sure that on shelf you have a diverse line of characters, not just a whole bunch of, well, white guys, shall we say, which is usually traditional. Well, the reason for this is because action figures as a toy category are avatars. I mean, not blue monkey people, but rather avatars for the imagination for children. They see themselves as these toys. Same for Barbie. Dolls have the same way as action figure play, that the reflection that you see of yourself is through the figure, and the figure becomes you. It's a way to be a superhero or be something more powerful. And in, again, today's modern go-go world, you can get Nick Fury white and Nick Fury black. See? Diversity. Everybody's happy. Okay, the reason for this is because people, children mostly, are attracted to characters that they see themselves in. But the reason that a lot of diverse superheroes and toys don't sell is literally down to population. People are attracted to a character that reminds them of themselves. And physically, there are more white people than black people or Asian people in the United States. And therefore, there's going to be a larger demand for white characters, which is why you see a lot of times minority characters peg-warming, simply because there just physically aren't as many. I'm not saying that, for example, white people don't want, say, a black character like Lando. That's usually just going to be the second purchase. The primary purchase is going to be a character that reminds you of yourself. And myself, growing up as a Jew, that's my race, there really aren't too many Jewish superheroes out there that look like me. I mean, what does a Jewish superhero look like? I mean, Superman is, in one way, a Jewish superhero, coming down through the stars like Moses and becoming a savior. Or are, actors who are Jewish, like, Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, as Adam Sandler would point out. They both play dreidel every year. So could those be considered Jewish superheroes? Well, just because they're played by Jews. Now, there are Jewish superheroes, but they tend to get regulated to, like Hanukkah splash pages, etc., or, one-time panels expressing their Judaism. Usually these characters are wearing masks, and they don't really interact with their Jewish race or heritage at all. So then the question remains, well, what does a Jewish superhero look like? And while there might be some ideas out there, I would say that looking at the new Star Wars content, Ahsoka, the live-action version, the sequel to Rebels, if you will, which is kind of cool when you see animated characters go live. Well, a big character from this is Ezra Bridger. Now, to say this is a Jewish-sounding name is an understatement. I went to Jewish summer camp, which, unfortunately, a homeless person burned it down about 4 years ago. But my time at Camp Hess Kramer in Malibu was some of the happiest memories. And my very first year there, I was in Cabin Ezra. So when Ezra Bridger shows up in Star Wars, I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Like, he's got a very Hebrewic-sounding name. So obviously Jews don't exist in Star Wars, but as Ezra got cooler and cooler, he started off kind of lame in the beginning. By the end of the series, he was the one responsible for taking out Thrawn and setting up the live-action Ahsoka show with, more space whales than you can count. So when we were told we were going to get a live-action Ezra, honestly, I didn't think much of it. I mean, he was kind of annoying in the beginning, but he did get cooler as time went by. But look at the way he was redesigned for live action. That, to me, was breathtaking. Whoa! For the first time, I found myself looking at someone who looked like a Jewish superhero or a Jewish Jedi. I mean, again, I know that there is no Judaism or Christianity in Star Wars, but there are definitely themes that show up, especially around things like The Mandalorian. But even The Mandalorian doesn't look Jewish outright. They just have Jewish culture aspects. Ezra, on the other hand, actually looks like a good Jewish boy. Look at that punim. I mean, come on. Ezra Bridger, you can't really have a more Hebraic-sounding name. Now, if you're saying, well, he doesn't really look like a Jewish superhero, let me show you Exhibit A here. This is Moses from Prince of Egypt, the Spielberg film from, gosh, over a decade ago, almost 2 decades ago. And if you're not telling me that the redesigned live-action Ezra Bridger is a absolute clone of Moses, I mean, come on, it's right there. I know I've now found my forever Halloween costume. Again, I know that Ezra Bridger is not a practicing Jew in a galaxy far, far away, but man, it is so nice to finally have a heroic character who looks Jewish. Thanks for watching. I hope this was an interesting video about how every race, every minority looks for superheroes and characters to represent them, and it's even when someone's not practicing, it's nice when visually you can see that in a character. Thanks for watching, thanks for sharing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.